27-year-old Orlando woman, Sasha Samsudean's body was found Saturday night inside of her apartment at Uptown Place.
Police confirm finding the body of Sasha Samsudean on Saturday evening at the Uptown Place apartments on North Orange Avenue. At this stage, police are not releasing many details, and neighbors and friends said the news was shocking. No one knows how she was killed or if the danger is still inside the building. But hours before the crime was discovered, Sasha's friends were trying to reach her. There was a breakfast appointment, but she didn't show up and didn't respond to any messages. They headed to her apartment. Her car was in the parking lot, and in the back seat was a gift prepared for a baby shower. They knocked on apartment number 345. No answer. Then they called the police. At 8 p.m., police entered the apartment. The door was locked, with no signs of forced entry, no mess in the kitchen or living room, but inside the bedroom, hair showing from under the covers and a hand hanging off the edge of the bed, that was Sasha Samsudean. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled to death. Clear strangulation marks around the neck, violent beating, defensive wounds on the arms, and bruises indicating forceful restraint. Her necklace was torn off and tangled in her hair, and her shirt and bra were ripped. Her phone and purse were missing, and the building's electronic key fob was not there. In the bedroom, a strong smell of cleaning products. On the bed sheets, discolored patches that appeared to be caused by bleach. The cabinet for cleaning supplies was wide open, and the toilet seat was up. And on the floor, a shoe print. After taking swabs from under the toilet seat, 2 fingerprints were found, and DNA samples were taken from Sasha's body. During the autopsy, the medical examiner said he had never seen an internal neck fracture this severe. She was a graduate of Seminole High School in Sanford. Police are asking anyone who was in the area of North Orange Avenue and Mark Street in the early morning hours of Saturday to contact them. The last time friends saw Sasha was Friday night. She returned home here to the Uptown Place apartments shortly before 2 a.m., where she was in the hallway and was captured by security camera. It's very sad, and the biggest thing for us is we really want to solve this case. And I hope anyone who sees this picture and can recognize her that night, please call us. In addition to 15 cameras around the building, Uptown Place had on-site security. Security guard Stephen Duxbury had been working there for about 5 months, and he saw Sasha returning home that morning. He told police he actually didn't let her in because she had no ID and no keys to the building. She entered after another resident opened the door for her. Later, Stephen searched for her inside the building, and when he found her, she was trying and failing to enter the correct code for her apartment door. Sasha asked him to accompany her to her car to check if her keys were there. They went out together, but suddenly she said she remembered the code and ran back inside. Stephen resumed his work, and after a short while returned to the spot. But Sasha had disappeared. Later, he said he saw her again inside the building. This time she wasn't alone. She was with a man he had never seen before. Police began tracking Sasha's movements from the moment she left the nightclub where she left her friends. The distance from there to her apartment building took about half an hour on foot. Although that night was very busy in the city, police managed to spot her on several surveillance cameras. She was wearing white jeans and a purple shirt and was clear and easy to distinguish. Another camera down the street showed her again. This time she was walking with 2 people. Police used this footage and issued a press release, hoping anyone who was with her would come forward with information. And indeed, they came forward. 2 women said they saw Sasha downtown that night and confirmed she was clearly intoxicated. She had no phone and no ID. The 2 women said they were concerned for her safety and decided to take her home. When the car stopped at a traffic light, Sasha suddenly jumped out and pointed to the Uptown Place building, saying this is where she lived. The 2 women waited while Sasha tried to enter the building, but she failed. She didn't have the electronic key fob. Shortly after, security guard Stephen Duxbury approached the 3 women. He told them he couldn't allow anyone to enter the building without ID or proof of residence. The two women told him they were worried about her and asked him how she would stay safe if he didn't let her in. And during the conversation, one of the building's residents opened the door. Sasha entered. Stephen continued talking with the two women for a while, then went back inside to find out where Sasha went. Everyone's stories matched, but police still needed additional footage and witnesses from inside the Uptown Place complex. Inside the apartment, police found an iPad belonging to Sasha. The device was linked to her iPhone and synced some data. Through it, police reviewed her last messages. There were messages with a man named Ben. They had dated before and were supposed to meet that weekend. They exchanged messages that night. Ben asked her if she wanted to meet him at another party, but hours later, at 5:12 a.m., Sasha sent just one message. One word. Ben. That was the last recorded activity on her devices. Ben contacted police and voluntarily allowed a DNA sample to be taken. And with a confirmed alibi, he was quickly ruled out of the investigation. Police also spoke with another man named Taylor. He had been in a relationship with Sasha for 2 years and they were still in contact. Taylor said he thought they might get back together someday, but that night he was working a shift at a bar. Multiple testimonies confirmed his presence there. And again, through DNA testing, he was ruled out of the case. At this stage, police had no clear suspect. But one thing was certain. Everyone who entered Sasha's life that night had to be tracked second by second. The surveillance cameras at the Uptown Place complex weren't stored inside the building but were kept off-site. And after careful review, police began reconstructing what happened in the early morning hours of Saturday. At 1:46 a.m., Sasha appeared entering the building. Immediately after, an unknown man entered. He asked her if she was okay. Then she went up the stairs and disappeared from cameras for about 20 minutes. At 2:06 a.m., she appeared again. She was running up another staircase. Behind her was security guard Stephen Duxbury. As he said in his statement, he accompanied her to the first-floor parking lot at 2:25 a.m. to check if her keys were in the car. But as soon as Sasha said she remembered the code, the two returned inside the building. After that, Sasha didn't appear on any other camera. Police were still looking for the unknown man who was seen with her initially. They appealed to the media and asked anyone who was inside the building after 1:46 a.m. to come forward with information. No one came forward. Investigators continued reviewing the footage frame by frame until 6:36 a.m. Then one of the cameras captured a striking scene. A person leaving the second floor carrying 2 garbage bags. That person was Stephen Duxbury. He headed to the second-floor parking lot where his car was parked, then returned inside the building at 6:38 a.m. Stephen had told police his shift ended at 6 a.m. But the cameras showed he didn't actually leave the building until 6:39 a.m. At first, police wondered, is taking out the garbage part of a security guard's job? The answer was clear. No. And upon closer inspection, it turned out the garbage bags came from inside Sasha's apartment. And from here, the course of the investigation changed. After discovering the garbage bags, police obtained a search warrant for Stephen Duxbury's home and asked him to come in for a polygraph test. During the test, Stephen was asked if he had entered Sasha's apartment. He answered no, but the device indicated deception. He was then asked about how she died. Was she poisoned? He answered no. Was she stabbed? No. Was she strangled? No. But at this specific question, his heart rate increased and indicators of deception appeared again. At that time, police had not publicly announced that Sasha was strangled. There was no reason for Stephen to know this information. Although a polygraph test is not admissible in court, it directed the investigation in one direction. In Stephen's home, investigators found a pair of shoes. The print on the shoe matched the shoe print found inside Sasha's apartment. 3 days later came another confirmation. The thumbprint found under the toilet seat matched Stephen Duxbury's right thumb. The DNA found on Sasha's body also belonged to him. His phone records revealed something else. Around 5 a.m., Stephen conducted an internet search. He searched for how to bypass a quick-set keypad lock, which is the same type of lock on Sasha's apartment door. This was about 3 hours after Sasha's last appearance on cameras and just minutes after she sent her last message on her phone, a message of one word, Ben. Investigators also noticed a bite mark on Stephen's forearm and clear scratches on his body. The man who was supposed to secure the building and protect the residents now became the prime suspect in a murder inside the very place he was responsible for. On October 17th, police announced the arrest of Stephen Duxbury, the security guard at the Uptown Place complex. He was charged with first-degree murder, sexual assault, and burglary of an occupied dwelling. Police said Duxbury exploited his position as a security guard to prey on someone who was vulnerable. According to the investigation, he entered Sasha's apartment, sexually assaulted her, then strangled her to death. After that, he used the cleaning products inside the apartment in an attempt to destroy any traces of DNA, then took evidence of value and left with it to his car before disposing of it later. His trial began in November 2017. Judge Lisa Munyon presided over the sessions. The defense team argued that Duxbury cooperated with police because he believed it was his duty as a security guard, otherwise he would lose his license. The defense demanded his initial statements to police be excluded from the case file. The prosecution responded that the motion came too late and should be denied. As the trial approached, the defense received a new blow. The judge decided not to exclude the key evidence, including the shoes seized at the defendant's home and some of his statements during the polygraph test. The prosecution said the case may be circumstantial, but the evidence collectively formed a complete picture. The DNA placed the defendant inside the apartment, internet searches revealed his intent, and the garbage bags linked him to the crime scene. The defense tried to plant doubt. They said Stephen's clothes weren't all tested, that the shoe size might not match exactly, and that the cameras didn't show him inside that apartment. But the prosecution responded clearly. The body doesn't lie, and the crime scene doesn't lie. After a trial that lasted 7 days and just 4 hours of jury deliberations, the verdict was issued: life in prison without possibility of parole for the murder of Sasha Samsudean, and an additional 15 years for sexual assault and burglary with violence. The judge ordered the sentences to run consecutively, and when Stephen was given the chance to speak, he refused to talk. After the verdict, Sasha's parents expressed sympathy for the defendant's mother. They said they understand she lost her son too. But Sasha's mother expressed her anger at the way the defense tried to distort her daughter's image in the courtroom. She said, "I won't have her birthdays, and her father will never be able to walk her down the wedding aisle." She said she attended many weddings after her daughter's murder, and each time, she remembers this dream was stolen from Sasha. Later, the Samsudean family filed a lawsuit against the Uptown Place complex and the security company that employed Duxbury. The lawsuit also included the lock manufacturer on Sasha's apartment door. The lawsuit said the complex management ignored previous complaints from residents who said they felt harassed by the security guard himself. Family attorneys also argued the lock was defective and may have been the means of entry into the apartment. The lock manufacturer said this couldn't be proven because the lock wasn't preserved as evidence. But the family's attorney said the company knew this type of lock could be broken with simple tools and didn't inform police. In February 2019, Stephen Duxbury filed an appeal. He said the court erred in refusing to exclude his statements and in convicting him of attempted sexual assault. The appeal was denied. More than 2 years after Sasha's murder, her family still deals with the loss, but they chose another path. working with the Orange County Sheriff's Office to help other families going through the same experience. Sasha's mother couldn't return to her job as a trauma nurse. Instead, she began helping other victims and sharing her story at victims' rights support events. She said, "We help ourselves when we tell our story, and we help others when we listen to their stories." Sasha Samsudean was 27 years old when she was killed. Her case didn't save her life, but it revealed how someone entrusted with protection can become the danger itself. And the question remains open. How many more crimes can happen before we reconsider who we trust inside our homes? This was the story of Sasha Samsudean. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.